First up, I want to take the woke out of investing. Take politics, especially radical left-wing progressive gender and sex and race and fossil fuels, out of the boardroom. Here's how bad this woke investing has gotten. The so-called ESG investment funds, right, environment and social governance, well, they just threw out Elon Musk's Tesla electric cars, which the left supposedly loves. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because he's now in favor of free speech and he's going to vote Republican. So they took him out of the ESG funds. You got to love that. You have to truly love that. So here's one of my favorite senators to talk about it, Mr. Dan Sullivan from the great state of Alaska, who's got some kind of index act that's going to change all that. I mean, Senator Sullivan, you got to love this. Elon Musk's electric cars, non-fossil, the darling of the radical left and Viro's Green New Deal. And he comes out and he's for free speech. He says he's going to vote Republican. They take him out of the ESG funds. All right. First of all, you got to love that. And second of all, what can you do about this? That's the issue.
Well, Larry, great to be back on the show. And what we're doing is we're getting my Index Act, Investor Democracy is Expected Act, is pretty simple. It gives the power to vote shares back to the beneficial owners of the shares. As you know, and you've reported on it and talked about a lot on your great show here, is that the passive investment managers, the big three in particular, BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, they have enormous market power and they drive these ESG policies into corporate governance. That market power, as you know, Larry, about 21 trillion under management, about 25% of all shares voted in shareholder meetings is owned by them, and over 90% of the S&P 500 they're the top shareholder in. So my bill says, hey, they shouldn't be able to vote those shares and have all this power. That's incredible market distortion. Give the ability to vote the shares back to the beneficial owners. And that's going to change ESG in a huge way.
So you've got some great, let me see, Crapo's with you, Toomey's with you, Senator Grassley's with you, Senator Cornyn, Senator Kramer, Senator Haggerty. So you've got a great list, Senator Tillis, Senator Daines. You've got a great list of supporters with you. You're not going to get this through. But, Senator Sullivan, if the cavalry comes as we expect and you all take back the Senate, you'll go with this and jam it through.
Well, look, Larry, we got some great Republican co-sponsors, no doubt. But I will tell you this. I've been in discussion with a number of my Democratic colleagues, and some of them want to go much further than we want to do, than we want to go. So there's a lot of interest on both sides of the aisle. Again, think about that market distortion that happens with those numbers that I just talked about. And the corporate governance was never meant to be dominated by so few companies and so few individuals. And what happens is far left groups try to get their agenda passed in the shareholder resolutions that some of these investment managers support, as opposed to trying to get their agenda passed through the political process. It's really distorting corporate governance, corporate America, and it's not the way in which any of this was supposed to work. My bill, the Index Act, will actually change it quite dramatically. And stand by. I think you're going to see some Democrat support as well.
Well, color me skeptical about that, but I'm all for it. Take woke politics out of investing. I mean, everybody owns these index funds, and you've got these, you're right, these three big companies, you know, Larry Fink and company, take it out. Because it's not part of market-oriented rate of return. There's a fiduciary responsibility here also that has to be missing. All right, I'm with you on that. Now, I want to go to some more. Right now, the administration is absolutely destroying the fossil fuel industry. Once again, they've gone after the great state of Alaska. They've taken the leases down. They've taken the leases down in the Gulf of Mexico. And I want to just run some sound for you to listen. Senator Manchin during the Interior Secretary Deb Haaland's hearings. Take a listen, please.
The U.S. Department of Interior just put out a statement. And the statement basically says a proposed program is not a decision to issue specific leases or to authorize any drilling or development. This is from y'all's office. So it looks like you are on to shut everything down. Did you know you all put this on?
I am sorry. I am sitting in this hearing and not.
My God, somebody, this shuts it down. It shows what your intent is.
No development, no driving, no leasing. This is how, and I mean, she says, you know, she was like, she just sat there. I mean, let's just say it's a unbelievable falsehood on her part. All right. So their whole administration, no matter what they may say, no matter what they told you, they are totally against fossil fuel. Senator Sullivan, you voted for Howland. You know, and I've been very critical of that point. You are a great friend of mine, but honestly, don't you really, hasn't she turned out much worse than you thought? And has the Biden administration double-crossed you and Governor Dunleavy and Alaska? They've double-crossed you, have they not?
Yeah, yes, Larry, there's no doubt. And look, if I knew then what I know now, I would have been a no vote, right? Many of the commitments she made to me during the confirmation process, they have not only not kept, but to your point, they have been dishonest about, and dishonest to my constituents about. Look, from day one, this administration has focused on shutting down and crushing the American energy sector. They've tried to kill production, especially in Alaska. They have killed and delayed infrastructure to move energy like Keystone, but a whole bunch of other projects. And they have strong-armed our financial institutions into not investing in American energy. And then they put forward, particularly in the financial sector, radical federal officials who want to choke off capital to the American energy sector. And at the same time, when prices start to go up, they're begging dictators around the world to produce more. But look, here's the thing. This has had predictable results, but I think it's been purposeful. They want to drive up energy prices on the backs of working families, certainly give pink slips to energy workers in my state, and it's empowering dictators. You heard the president today in Japan. He essentially said what Gina McCarthy and others have been saying. They're trying to drive up prices to accelerate the renewable to clean energy, and they're crushing working families in the process. And look, this is going to be a huge issue in November. The American people are so fed up with this. It's driving inflation, but it's dishonest as well. And we got to change these policies.
But they basically screwed you. They screwed you on Anwar, but they also screwed you on Willow.
Well, look, the president came out day one, said he's not going to have another lease sale on Anwar. My reaction to that was, your job, Mr. President, is actually to faithfully execute the laws. The law that we got done with you and President Trump and the Republican Congress is to actually develop Anwar. The president committed to me on Willow. We'll see what happens on that. But here's where they really came after Alaska. Just in the last 4 weeks, they canceled the Cook Inlet lease sale, and then Deb Haaland took half of the National Petroleum Reserve of Alaska, NPRA, which right now, Larry, is the most prolific oil and gas basin probably in the world. When explorers look for gas and oil in NPRA, they're finding it. Billion-barrel fields, by the way. They took half of that off the table just 4 weeks ago after a Deb Haaland visit to Alaska. So they're trying to do everything to shut down my state and shut down the energy economy, and it's really undermining our national security interests, but it's really hurting working families.
Senator Sullivan, you're an old friend of mine. You're a good guy. But I told you so. You never should have voted for Haaland. I told you so.
You told me so.
It just doesn't pay off. But it's okay. We believe in forgiveness on the Kudlow Show. We believe in forgiveness. And good. You have a smile. And look,
I'm smiling, Larry.
They're all.
But look, but in all seriousness, my constituents aren't smiling. We're hurting right now, and this administration.
They are damaging this country. They are damaging this country. They are damaging this country and the great state of Alaska. Senator Dan Sullivan, good. I hope your other bill gets through, because I think it's a terrific idea. Take the politics, take the woke politics out of investment. We will talk soon, and you're a good-natured fellow. Thank you for that.
Good to be on the show, Larry.